Prime equity contract clause makes him richest rookie ever. Shedeur didn't negotiate from the table, he built the table. And now, the owners are stunned by what he walked away with.
When Shedeur signed his deal with the Browns, which was $4.6 million, there was a clause in his contract that was called prime equity. This clause ties into brand legacy and financial future to his on-the-field performance, allowing him to potentially benefit from the value he brings beyond just playing football. It could include things like revenue from merchandise, endorsements, and media appearances. So this means because he came into the NFL already a brand, the NFL has to cut him a piece in order to access that.
While the entire NFL world thought they knew everything about Shedeur Sanders' rookie contract with the Cleveland Browns, a secret clause buried deep in the fine print is about to shatter every assumption about rookie quarterback deals. This isn't just another fifth-round pick signing bonus story. This is about a revolutionary prime equity provision that's already generated $14 million in commissions from jersey sales alone, making Sanders potentially the richest rookie quarterback in NFL history before he's even taken a single snap. But here's what's got league executives losing sleep at night. If this contract model catches on, it could completely transform how every future superstar negotiates their deal, turning athletes from employees into legitimate business partners. The question isn't whether Sanders will succeed on the field. It's whether the NFL is ready for what he's about to unleash off of it.
I was out of town, so I was like, nah, the first thing I do when I get back is definitely come to the community. I could tell everybody's vibe out here is down to earth. So a lot of people that didn't want me coming out here doing it, but I don't understand why. You know, God told me come out here, so I'm never gonna question his word. It's definitely just get active and actually do it. You know, sending money and stuff, that's easy, but you have to actually go out there and be in the flesh. You know, I feel like that's more impactful.
Look, I'm going to tell you guys the truth. The majority of folks believed they understood the entire situation when Cleveland selected Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. A typical rookie contract costs $6 million for several years. You mean there's nothing to write home about? False. Completely incorrect. And you'll be astounded by what I'm about to tell you about how this young man and his group completely transformed the professional football industry. As you can see, everyone was concentrating on Shedeur's arm strength and mobility and comparing him to Tom Brady, which, incidentally, makes no sense given that Brady couldn't run to save his life, but nobody was paying attention to what was going on behind closed doors during those contract negotiations. No one besides the important individuals. Speaking of pressure, let's discuss the situation this young person is entering in Cleveland. You heard that Ohio fan in the video. You must bring it back to me, man. That is the burden a whole city has placed on him. It has been decades since the Browns had a real franchise quarterback. Not because they haven't tried, but rather due to poor coaching choices, poor management, and general bad luck. However, this is the thing that excites me. They also nearly made a mess of this. However, they were able to get Shedeur Sanders in some way.
To me, at the very beginning, it would be a challenge, but I like the challenge.
So you guys just heard right there that fan basically saying, we want you to save the city. That's basically what he said in a short summary for the Cleveland Browns. Now, the Cleveland Browns really haven't found a quarterback in decades, and it's been a lot because of the lack of management, the staff, and all of those things. They almost slipped up and messed out on Shedeur Sanders, but luckily they was able to still draft Shedeur Sanders.
Expectations and pressure on Sanders. But hold on, things will improve. You see, Shedeur didn't enter the NFL as an athlete like all the other rookie quarterbacks in history. He entered the market as a legitimately lucrative social media powerhouse brand. And the Browns were aware of its worth right away. This is where everything starts to become completely crazy. This story was broken by sports influencer Cassius. You'll believe I'm making this up when I tell you the figures, but I'm not. Sanders will receive a direct portion of any profits the Browns make from products, sponsorships, or promotions using his name and likeness. Thanks to this prime equity clause, pay close attention, because this is going to alter everything. Consider it for a moment. He receives a cut for each jersey that bears his name. Shedeur receives payment for each t-shirt, authorized slogan, and item of product bearing his name. This goes beyond a simple endorsement arrangement in which he just shows up, takes a picture, and receives payment. He is regarded as an equity investor in his own brand in this respectable commercial arrangement. Hold on, though, because it gets much stranger. Sanders maintains complete control over his own content on all social media networks. You name it, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, etc. He owns all of his endeavors and media creations. Furthermore, they obtained unique media rights with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell personally, allowing Deion Sanders Jr. to produce exclusive behind-the-scenes video. Well, that's nice, but how much money are we really talking about here? Others may ask. And that's where the sales of Sanders rookie jerseys are going to blow your mind. They have reached $250 million already. Let me reiterate that. Sales of rookie jerseys totaled $250 million. For a first-year player, that's not the only highest score. Such a figure would make seasoned superstars envious. Additionally, Sanders has already earned $14 million in commissions due to that prime equity provision before throwing a single pass in the NFL. This young player has already earned more money than the majority of seasoned quarterbacks do in their entire careers before he has even completed his first training camp and won a single game. And he accomplished this by managing his business wisely. When Cash stated that Shedeur Sanders will become one of the wealthiest quarterbacks in history, he did it flawlessly. And what do you know? Deion Sanders himself agreed with the assertion. You know you're doing something right when your father, who gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, co-signs commercial transactions. What truly excites me about this whole issue, though, is this. His arm power, which, incidentally, has always existed, was the focus of the critics and doubters. Sanders was occupied with creating an empire, so I'm not sure what the NFL scouts were smoking. He was negotiating terms that would position him for generational riches, whilst other rookies were content to simply make the squad. And because I am aware that some people believe he hasn't yet demonstrated anything, let's address the obvious. Why should he receive this kind of compensation? I tell those individuals that the market has already made its voice heard. Sales of $250 million in jerseys are no lie. Shedeur Sanders apparel is what the supporters desire. They are prepared to pay for the opportunity to be connected to his brand. I'm sure he'll ball out, but this isn't about what he might do on the field. This relates to his shown abilities as a brand builder and businessman. From Colorado to Jackson State, this young guy has grasped a concept that most athletes never grasp. There is much more to your worth than what goes on behind the scenes. Rookies have reported to training camp, and the timing couldn't be better. Veterans report on Monday. Additionally, the first open practice begins on July 25th. Sanders is all ready. Considering leaving a legacy while everyone else is focused on making the roster. He has been working hard during the off-season, staying in shape, honing his asterisk art, and, most importantly, growing his business, while other rookies are anxious about their first NFL experience. His motivational video clip demonstrates the precise attitude he is bringing to Cleveland. This is not a conceited child who believes he has already achieved success. This young man recognizes the worthlessness of talent without a work ethic. Additionally, a work ethic devoid of business acumen wastes money. Let's now discuss the implications of this for the NFL's future. If Sanders is successful, which I think he will be, this prime equity model will serve as the model. Similar terms will be desired in the contracts of all aspiring superstars. Agents will insist that their clients have stock shares. The whole dynamic between clubs and players is set to shift. What if this were to become the norm? What if every star player joined their team as a genuine partner instead of merely a worker? Everything changes, including the chances for income sharing. marketing opportunities, and how clubs handle branding and fan interaction. And that worries some NFL front office employees because the established power structure of professional sports would be completely upended if players began to demand equity stakes and to keep ownership of their likeness rights and content. But what do you know? The time has come. These sportsmen bring in billions of dollars for the league and their clubs. Why don't they receive a larger share of the pie? Why don't they have greater authority over their image and brand? Shedeur Sanders and his group did more than simply work out a deal. They sparked a revolution. And what's lovely is that he's doing it while being loyal to himself. He isn't attempting to pass for someone else. He isn't imitating the route taken by another player. He is establishing his kingdom, forging his path, and positioning himself for success on and off the field. Even though his arm strength has always existed, the critics are free to continue doubting it. They are free to continue drawing those absurd parallels to Tom Brady. Although Sanders is far more athletic than Brady was. Now, none of that matters since the market has already confirmed what he is doing, and the figures speak for themselves. Cleveland supporters are prepared for this. When the fan mentioned that Sanders would bring it back to Ohio, there was joy in his voice. It's true. That's the sort of enthusiasm that creates dynasties, sells shirts, and fills stadiums. And Sanders will capitalize on that excitement while also developing his brand and earning an income that is beyond the comprehension of most people. But this is the big question, or, perhaps more accurately, the $14 million question. What occurs if additional rookie quarterbacks begin requesting comparable terms? What occurs if long-standing veterans wish to add equity terms to their contracts? What occurs if agents begin utilizing the Sanders contract as the new standard for negotiations? This genie isn't going back in the bottle, and the NFL is about to learn the truth. Shedeur Sanders made a lasting impact on the game before he ever played his first professional snap. Do this while everyone else is preoccupied with depth chart places and training camp battles. Pay attention to the actual narrative. Football isn't the only topic here. This relates to the future of athlete empowerment in professional sports as well as business legacy. To be honest, I'm here for everything. Because the American ideal is realized when a young man uses his skill, reputation, and commercial savvy to ensure riches for future generations while continuing to pursue his goals on the field. Whether Shedeur Sanders will be successful in the NFL is not the question. Whether the NFL is prepared for what he is about to do to it is the question. You cannot ignore what Shedeur Sanders has accomplished, regardless of your feelings toward him. Commission checks totaling $14 million before his first NFL snap. It's not luck. That isn't a relationship. That exemplifies genuine business genius. And you're missing out on seeing history being made if you're not paying attention to how this story develops. We will be covering every single development in this story, from training camp to the regular season and beyond, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. Please let me know by leaving a comment below. Is Sanders going too far with his prime equity clause, or do you think it's brilliant? Additionally, you should activate those alerts because, believe me, you don't want to miss the next chapter in this amazing story.